In the icy grip of the deep blue sea, a solitary man teetered on the brink of disaster. The ocean, once his playground, had become a menacing predator, teeming with razor-toothed sharks circling in the gloom below. A simple mistake, a momentary lapse of judgment, and he was plunged into a world where survival was a game of Russian roulette. It was a day like any other. The sun painted the sky in hues of gold and crimson as he set out on his sailing expedition. He was a seasoned sailor, a veteran of the waves, but the sea is a fickle mistress, always ready to turn the tables. A sudden storm had hit, a tempest that had come out of nowhere, and he was thrown overboard into the chilling depths, his yacht disappearing into the maelstrom. Now, alone and adrift, he had to contend with the ocean's most fearsome inhabitants. The sharks, drawn by the scent of a potential meal, closed in. He fought, thrashing and flailing, his every instinct screaming for survival. He was a man against nature, against the odds. But then, as if by some divine intervention, he spotted an outcrop of rocks jutting out from the sea. With a final surge of adrenaline, he swam, his heart pounding in his chest, his breaths coming in ragged gasps. He made it to the rocks, pulling himself up, just as the sharks lunged, their jaws snapping shut inches from his feet. Safe for the moment, he took stock of his situation. Exhausted, dehydrated, and miles away from civilization, his predicament seemed hopeless. But then, something caught his eye, a glint of something beneath the surface. Curiosity piqued. He dove and found what seemed to be a sunken treasure chest. With a Herculean effort, he hauled the chest onto his rocky refuge. To his amazement, it was filled to the brim with gold and jewels, priceless artifacts from a bygone era, a fortune worth millions. Elation washed over him. He was a millionaire. But then reality set in. He was a millionaire stranded in the middle of shark-infested waters, with no food, no water, and no way back to civilization. The treasure, so tantalizingly within his grasp, was as unreachable as the distant shore. And so he sat there, the king of his lonely island, the richest man in the world, with not a soul to share his wealth with. He had survived the storm, escaped the jaws of death, and stumbled upon a fortune. But how would he survive the challenges that lay ahead? How would he make it back to the world he once knew? Would his treasure be his salvation or his downfall? These are questions that remain unanswered. His story, like the sea that holds him, is deep and full of mystery. His fate hangs in the balance, a tale of adventure, survival, and the relentless pursuit of fortune. And as the sun sets on his solitary outpost, we can only wonder, what happens next?